Hey, my legion, how y'all? Hey, my legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today with a movie review, and I'm reviewing Phantasm Ravager, or in some people call it Phantasm 5 Ravager, but on the title it's just Phantasm Ravager, and it was pretty much a movie made for the fans. And I'm going to talk about also my history with the whole series of the Phantasm movies. And also I'm going to talk about the 3 Purge movies, which I finally saw over the weekend. But first of all is Phantasm Ravager. That's a big one. It just came out about a month ago. And it had Reggie Bannister in it, starring Reggie Bannister, who I'm friends with on Facebook, along with his wife Gigi Bannister. And also Angus Grimm in his last role before he passed a while back. Now, this was a movie made for the fans, like 17 years in the making. Well, they've been waiting 17 years for it since the last one. That came out in 98. I thought it came out earlier than that, but I guess it was 98. And I guess it was shot on weekends and stuff. And probably the biggest fault with the movie is that the budget. Because they were trying to they had like the big drawn out plans for the movie, and Bruce Campbell was going to be in all this other stuff, and they couldn't raise that much money. They couldn't even raise $1 million, even though I think the funding should have been there, because I'm watching Green Inferno right now, a big budget film, or a very convincing budget, play in theater that had to have a budget of at least over $1 million with very poor acting in it. And this one, the acting really good. It's just some of the scenes in the movie look cheap. I hate to say it. And then a good bad flicks who reviewed it said that he heard that the budget was like $300,000, and then it could have went down to $150,000. But I mean, I love the movie. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I know some of it looks low budget. They just didn't have the funding, but it's made up for it with the incredible personality of Reggie Bannister playing Reggie in there. And let me I can't really talk that much about it without giving stuff away, because I don't do spoilers and stuff, but I want to give you, like, anyone interested in the Phantasm movie, just give you an overview of it. Basically, it involves the tall man played by Angus Grimm, who, like I said, his last role, he passed away, and he was in his 90s. He did a really good job in this one, too. He did a good job in all of them. And basically, he was taking, like, bodies from the morgue and reanimating them and shrinking them down and sending them over to his planet for like slave labor, and to create his army. And he had like these giant spheres, these metal spheres that are really cool, and they have like these things that come out and they attach to your head, like right here, and they have a drill that drills in, and there's a hole, and it spews out your blood, and like it kills you that way. They're really cool. I love those things. It's a very entertaining mix of horror, sci-fi, and action. And basically, in the first one, it was like Mike and Jody, and then Reggie had a small role in it, fighting to stop the tall man. And then pretty much with the second one, it pretty much was Reggie fighting the tall man. And pretty much these movies are their adventures to try to stop the tall man. And okay, that's what the very quick synopsis of what the series is about. Now, going back to the fifth one, this one, I mean, it's very ambitious. It's really, I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I mean, some people saying it was too cheap. I didn't think, it looks cheap in some parts, but I really liked it. And it was for the fans. I think the fans will really appreciate it. But I mean, if you're interested in a movie, start with the first one and then go up to this one. But I loved Phantasm Ravager. I mean, it had a decent amount of humor in it. It was cool seeing a bunch of actors come back. But I don't want to give away any more. I loved it. I give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, because I was going to give it maybe an 8 out of 10, and then, well, I really got super. It was cool throughout, but then it really got super cool, and I really enjoyed it. So it's a full-on 10 out of 10. And also the nostalgia factor of seeing another Phantasm movie after all these years. I think I saw the fourth one in 99 or 2000. You know, so it's waiting 16 years later. It's really cool seeing another fan. This will probably be the last one. And I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. So So the nostalgia factor was priceless. But I mean, the movie itself, a full-on 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Now let's go all the way back to the first one. Now I remember hearing lots of people talk about Phantasm. And I didn't. When the VCR came out, well, Phantasm came out in 1979, and I was told it was done on a shoestring budget, even though it looked very professional. And they said that they had to cut out scenes to avoid an X rating from the MPAA. This is back in '79. You know, because because the MPAA was really weird back in the '70s and '80s, revolving horror and gore and stuff like that. Now it doesn't seem like they're as bad as they're as strict as they used to be. You know, the Friday the 13th got hacked heavily for blood and guts to avoid an X rating. Even though the first Friday the 13th would probably get a PG-13 rating now. Well, anyways, like I said, it's very entertaining, very creative. But I didn't see Phantasm until in the 80s after we got VCR, and we went to this one place, Home Video Exchange, that became Papa Rop's. And they pretty much focused on horror. My dad said, they have too many horror films here. I hate this stuff. And everyone was saying what a great movie Phantasm was. It's always had a big thing. And I finally rented it, and the guy says it's a really good movie. And I saw it, and I really enjoyed it. I saw it when I was a teenager. Now, it was made in '79. Now, in 1988, when I was in the Army, Universal picked it up for a sequel, and they made a big budget sequel with that. And wait a second, I'm getting ahead of myself. When I was in Germany, my dad sent me some videotapes over. That's still when the VCR was king, you know. And he sent me like 3 videotapes in one year. It was a lower budgeted videotapes. It was Night of Horrors, House of 1,000 Corpses. No. House of 7 Corpses. I got mixed up with Rob Zombie. No, it was I forgot. It was Night of Horror, House of 7 Corpses, which is an old '73 horror film, real low budget, and also an episode of The Outer Limits, the one with Martin Sheen in. And then the next year for Christmas time, he sent me the Batman movie, the Tim Burton Batman movie, Phantasm. That's where it goes back to Phantasm. He sent me the first Godzilla the Fire Breather. It was something, no, it's Godzilla Raids Again, which came out to like something the Fire Breather, which is like a kind of like a take on Godzilla, I guess. The Bride, and also Ray Bradbury's stories, like a collection of 3 of his stories, or 5. 3 of his stories or 5 of his stories. I think it was 3 of his, or it might have been 5, I can't remember. But I mean, my roommate got to see Phantasm for the first time. We really enjoyed it. Well, anyways, Universal came out with a big budget sequel to that. And at the time, and it was played in Germany at the military theater, and I went to see it. And at the time, we had problems with their one machine being down. I don't want to get into too many specifics about this, but we had to run messages back and forth, and they were pissed off. And of course, I was maintenance guy. Said these guys had to come with us, so we were running like weird 12-hour shifts. I'd run a 12-hour shift, get 12 hours off, run a 12-hour shift. And I remember when I had the 12 hours off, I went to the theater to see, Phantasm 2, and I loved it. It's full on. It became more of an action film. It was really good. Well, horror, action, sci-fi. I really loved it. That was a full on 10 out of 10. I have good memories of that movie. It's really good. Now, in 91, Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead came out. I remember ordering that from my friend Sean Smith from Blackest Heart Media. And then I guess as soon as I got online, he shut down Blackest Heart Media figures. But back a long time ago, I remember getting that, and came out in 91. I think I got it in 92, 93. I loved Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. And then they called Phantasm Never Dead. The Never Dead. And I don't think Phantasm 2 was just Phantasm 2, I think. And a lot of people slam Phantasm 3 for having too much humor in it. But I love Phantasm. Phantasm 3 was a good time just like the other two. I really enjoyed it. Now, a few years later, in Platea, they had a line of store. They had like Country Greens. And then they had a line of like hotels, officially hotels, and they had some businesses. People who owned Country Greens had a bunch of businesses. Like they had like a gift card. It was like a combo gift card shop. Well, like a Hallmark gift cards and candles and stuff. And part of it was like a video rental place. And then they had like a little grocery store and delicatessen where I could go to and get like black olives. They had black olives for like $2 a pound. I got a ton of those. Like the cured black olives, the ones I like. And then these businesses were open for a few years. And I remember that was the only place I saw Phantasm 4 Oblivion. I remember renting it, and that was the only one I was disappointed with. That was the one that was supposed to wrap everything up. I was really disappointed with it. I didn't think it was... I don't know. Maybe one day I'll give it a second chance. I was disappointed with that one. I give that probably a 6.5 out of 10. If I should see it again. I've only seen it once. I was so bummed out by it because it wasn't like the other three. Maybe I'll have a different opinion if I see it a second time. Like I said, those were my opinions of the all 5 Phantasm films. Because as far as I'm sure, the best were the first 2, and then, well, the first 3 were the best. And then right under that would be Phantasm Ravager, and then right under, well, a little further under that would be Phantasm Oblivion. So there you have it for my review of Phantasm Ravager, 5 out of 10. Thank you to my friend Tony Town, made me a really cool thumbnail for the movie. And like the history of the other Phantasm movies, like I said, I don't want to give away a lot, because I don't want to, I don't want to give away any spoilers for fans of the series. My friend Alex Wilson was telling me he really liked Phantasm Ravager a lot, Now let's go on to the Purge films. I've been wanting to see the Purge movies for a while, and I just haven't done it or gotten around to it. And the people I talk to say that they're okay. They're not that great, they're okay. I remember seeing a commercial for the first one, and I think that was such a great idea. There was like, throughout the year, there's like one day a year, for 12 hours, all crime is legal, including murder. But then there was some restriction. I saw the thing. There was some restriction. You had to use like nothing above a Class C weapon or something like that. And then of course politicians are immune. Figures. They have to rate themselves out. But I mean, I really wanted to see it. I finally saw it. The first one had Ethan Hawke in it. And what happened was I ended up seeing Meet the Blacks. Because I mean that was a spoof on the Purge, and it was like close to the Purge I could see at the time. And that was kind of a disaster. It kind of, for only 91 minutes, it sure dragged for a long time. And it was okay, but I'm glad I saw these other ones. I like these other Purge movies far better than Meet the Blacks. The first Purge movie was 85 minutes. Ethan Hawke was in it. And basically he said that people don't come to his house for purging and stuff like that. Because they're in an upscale neighborhood. He had like a secure system and stuff like that. So they got ready to lock down during the Purge, and then his kid saw this one homeless guy saying, help me, they're out to get me, and he lets them in the house. And a bunch of guys, well, like maybe 20, 25 minutes, well, within the course of the movie, but these other guys they want them to let the homeless guy out so they can purge and kill the guy. And they said, well, we'll find. And the guy said, it's in your best interest you do. And, of course, they don't do it in a timely fashion. They break in. I don't want to give away any more. But I really liked it. I thought it was a very tense, very well-paced movie. That 85 minutes went by very fast. Not perfect, though. And like Jeremy John said, it was just like a generic home invasion movie. But I liked it. But a lot of people said it was only okay. I think it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. So maybe that's the case, because most movies are only okay, because there's like a thing where they suck, they're okay, or they're really good. Most movies fall into the okay category, and this was like that, but I liked it. I give it an 8 out of 10. Now the second one, Purge Anarchy, came out 2 years later when my dad's still alive. I wish my dad could have seen these movies. He could give you his opinion too, Purge Anarchy was involved in these two guys. That got their, a guy and a girl that got their whole car screwed up. And they got stranded out in the middle of the Purge in the city in New York, or I assume it was New York. And these guys around, and it's their thing to survive the night. Now, as much as it seemed like it'd be cool. It looked like it's they did a completely different job, but it looked like it was on such a small scale. That was kind of disappointing. I wanted to be on a big, grandiose scale. They meet this other guy that helps them out some. I don't want to give away any more. There's more to it than that. I liked it, but I didn't think it was as good as the first one. I give that probably a 7 out of 10. Now, the next one, Purge Election Year, came out this year, and it is really stupid with bad dialogue, including a guy who said, "Good night, blue cheese." And he said it twice in the movie, and that was the dumbest line. And Jeremy Jahns was right about that one girl acting. Horrible acting. She wanted to come in and get a candy bar. Say, "I'm coming to get my candy bar." It was so bad and cheesy and stuff, but I had a good time with it. And this one stars this one girl, very attractive. I think they're doing like the whole Hillary Trump thing, with a female. But I mean, Hillary Trump ain't attractive at all. She's attractive. Anyways, back like 18 years ago, I guess her family got held hostage on the Purge, and she had to choose who's going to live and who's going to die. I guess her whole family died, and she was a senator, and her main mission was to get elected president and end the Purge. And of course, all the powers that be don't want her to do that, and they said, "We have to find a way to stop her." And the guy was like Simon Bar Sinister, but he's a classic bad guy. I've seen him before. He's cheesing it up. So of course they changed the rules. They said, "Well, this time all politicians aren't exempt from this. They're fair game too." And of course their attempt was to get this girl and kill her. And she's hauled up with that one guy that helped them out. That I can't remember his name. From the second one. And of course, they get fought, and these bad guys, he's not with the Nazi skinhead guy with these tattoos all over his face, and they're all out to get him and stuff. It's really just silly. This one's silly, and like Jeremy Jahns says, it's in like a so bad it's good category, and I agree. I had a good time with it, more so than the other two. I think it drags some. But I give it an 8 out of 10. I really did enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Even though it's terrible. But the "Good night, blue cheese," they had to know that was a horrible line. That worst line in the movie. And that girl saying, "I'm coming in my sweet tooth." Because she tried to steal a candy bar from this guy who played Bubba in Forrest Gump. And he said, "Give it up. You can't have it." She was all mad and stuff. She wanted her candy bar. And then she came back on Purge saying, acting all nuts and stuff. It's really bad. But I had a good time. If you want to see a silly movie, check this one out. But see all three of them. And I know a lot of people, like when I talked to some people, they said they didn't really care that much for the first two Purge, and they didn't bother to see the third one. But they're only okay. They're not the greatest films in the world. That's why I kind of put off seeing it, because people said they weren't that great. But they're all right. But they're entertaining enough. I've seen far worse, believe me. So I've seen some really bad movies. But these weren't bad. If you get a chance, the Phantasm series is far better than the Purge series. But they're both entertaining, but I'd see the Phantasm one first, in my opinion. Start with the first one, then end up to the fifth one, then start with the first Purge, and end with the last one that came out. So until next time, everybody, I hope you like this review of Phantasm, Ravager, and a whole bunch of other extra stuff. Thank you to Tony for making me the awesome thumbnail. Until next time, take care, my legion. Where's that thing? Okay.